Welcome to the program Global Weekly News, serial number 50. Comrades and friends, now I have come to Delhi to attend Construction Workers Federation of India All India Office Bearers meeting. Presently, I am staying in Harkishan Singh Surjit Bhavan. From Surjit Bhavan, I am delivering this Global Weekly News, serial number 50. First, we are going to see arrest of activists in Atlanta of United States of America. Atlanta is a city in south of America in Georgian state. Atlanta police officers arrested 3 members of Atlanta Solidarity Fund on 31st May. Atlanta police officers, Georgia Bureau of Investigations, raided a house of an activist. There, 3 members of Atlanta Solidarity Fund were arrested. Atlanta Solidarity Fund helps the people getting arrested in struggles, helps the people facing legal battles. It extends legal aid and gives funds to come out on bail. So this is the organization Atlanta Solidarity Fund. For this, Atlanta Solidarity Fund receives donations. Charges of money laundering and charity fraud are framed against the 3 arrested. All over the United States, the people got angry over the arrest. In June 2021, government decided to establish a cop city in 100 acres of Atlanta forest lands to give special training to police regarding oppression of urban struggles. This is nothing but militarization of the police. For this project, a large number of trees were cut. Training to use the gun, tear gas, helicopter and use of explosives for explosion will be given to the police. Environmentalists, activists against police repression, progressive leftist groups are campaigning against this Cop City project. Defend Atlanta Forest Movement activists have formed an opposition camp in the forest area. On 5th March 2021, when the music festival was held in this camp, police raided and arrested 23 people, calling them as domestic terrorists. In December 2022, 5 activists were arrested, accusing them as terrorists. On 21st January 2023, 6 protesters were arrested on the charge of causing damage to public property. On 18th June, 26-year-old youth was shot at. Atlanta Solidarity Fund advertises in internet and social media for getting donations. Atlanta Solidarity Fund extended aid to the people arrested while protesting against the murder of George Floyd, the black man, by white policeman by strangulating him to death. So, George Floyd, a black man, was strangulated to death by a white policeman, and this enraged the people of America, and there were a lot of protests and so many people got arrested, and to the arrested people Atlanta Solidarity Fund extended aid. On 12th June, Brooks, 27-year-old youth, was killed. Because of this, the struggle got intensified. Hundreds were arrested. Government considering the just struggles as criminal actions is not fair. Comrades, now we are going to see hotspots of food insecurity in the world. World Food Programme, WFP. World Food Programme is a division of United Nations. It is a humanitarian organization taking actions to eradicate hunger and to enthuse food security. Every year, World Food Programme extends food aid to 9.14 crores of people in 83 countries. World Food Programme got the Nobel Peace Prize for the year 2020. World Food Programme has identified 18 hotspots of hunger in 22 countries between the period 2023 June to November. In Afghanistan alone, 1 crore 53 lakhs of people are affected by extreme food insecurity. World Food Program and Food and Agriculture Organization FAO of United Nations have issued a statement on hotspots of food insecurity in Afghanistan, Myanmar and Pakistan. Highest concern shall be there on the conditions in Afghanistan, Nigeria, Somalia, South Sudan, Yemen. Concern shall also be there on the conditions in Haiti, Burkina Faso, Mali and Sudan. There are severe restrictions for people and goods transport in Haiti, Burkina Faso and Mali. In Sudan, civil war is going on. Food insecurity is severe in Pakistan, Central African Republic, Ethiopia, Kenya, Congo, Syria and Myanmar. There is large-scale food shortage in Lebanon, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Malawi, Guatemala and Honduras. Global economic crisis, planned violence and conflicts, sudden changes due to climate change are intensifying food crisis all over the world. Afghanistan's reserve funds were freezed in United States and European Union banks. Sanctions and decline in humanitarian assistance have caused food crisis in Afghanistan. In Pakistan, food crisis is there due to last year's hurricane and reduction in foreign exchanges and debt burden. In Myanmar, due to the recent Mocha storm, economic crisis, internal conflicts and repression by the military rule, food crisis is getting aggravated. Comrades, next we are going to see how the corporates gain by overfishing. Overfishing by corporates. We often talk about the piracies taking place in the coastline of Somalia. Why this happens? Many foreign ships dump nuclear waste in the unregulated sea of Somalia. This poisons the seawater. Large trawlers are used in depleting fish resources in the coastal regions. Fishermen of Somalia are not able to go for deep sea fishing. They lose their livelihood because of the large trawlers of corporates. Fishermen of West Bengal and Bangladesh used to complain about big size prawns fished by large trawlers. Big size prawns are not available now in the markets of West Bengal and Bangladesh. These prawns are very nutritious. Overfishing is there for quite a long time. 2 years before, Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations issued a statement on overfishing of sardine fish and banga fish of the coastline of Western Africa. People in the coastline region in Gambia, in the town of Sanyang, a tourist coastal fishing village, were interviewed regarding their loss of income. It is estimated that Gambia, Mauritania, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Sierra Leone, etc. lose about $230 crore annually to illegal fishing by corporate trawlers. People have lost their protein resources of local fish. They are forced to import expensive fish for their daily use. Fishing and fish processing companies harness the total fish near the coastline using their ships. Coastline women farmers complain that pests and insects from the fish meal factories are destroying their vegetables. Fish meal factories means dry fish powder, etc. Hunger is not produced by lack of food. Corporate greed is responsible for hunger everywhere. The story of overfishing of coastline of Gambia demonstrates this. Comrades and friends, 90 miles south of America, there is Cuba, socialist Cuba, where in 1959 revolution took place under the leadership of comrades Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. From then onwards, for more than 60 years, America has put sanctions on Cuba. Besides that, even culturally, Cuba is attacked all over the world by the rightist forces. We are going to see the details of that. Rightist cultural attacks on Cuba. France Distinguished Poetry Festival has come under fire by artists, writers, and activists across the world for their last minute decision to cancel the honorary presidency of Nancy Morazan over the 40th edition of the festival. The festival is taking place from June 7 to 11 in Paris, announced the decision on 31st May, just a week before they announced. Nancy Morazan is an internationally recognized Cuban poet, translator, and academic. She was the first black woman to win Cuba's National Literature Prize, and the extensive body of work touches on black Cuban history and culture, women, and much more. She has lectured at Wellesley College and the University of Missouri in the United States, and currently serves as the director of the Union magazine, the journal of the Union of Writers and Artists of Cuba. A hardline right-wing Cuban activist and writer, Jacobo Macover, who today lives in Paris, on 24th May, he posted in his Facebook that bestowing the honorary president to Nancy will tarnish the reputation and image of the festival. The Pen Club France is an association of writers and artists of France which advocates for freedom of expression. Its president wrote letters to the Poetry Festival that Nancy was unsuitable to receive the honor at the festival. Nancy has supported strongly the policies of her country's authorities. She has affirmed that there is no oppression in Cuba. The hasty decision has provoked a massive outcry from artists, writers, and progressive organizations across the world who question how the festival can use the pretext of freedom of speech and expression to silence an artist due to political pressures. The World Poetry Movement released a statement condemning the French festival's decision. It asked whether living in Cuba and standing by the Cuban Revolution is a crime. Is it a crime to live in Cuba and to support the Cuban government? That is the statement issued by the World Poetry Movement. The International Union of Left Publishers also released a statement condemning the decision and highlighting the hypocrisy of the French festival. The campaign against Nancy comes in the midst of similar attacks against the Cuban musical group currently on tour in Spain. Right-wing activists violently disrupted several performances of the group. Cuba's foreign ministry released a statement on 1st June highlighting that Cuban culture, which suffers the impact of the inhuman and illegal economic blockades, is the bearer of messages of peace, dialogue, and tolerance. It's the bearer of the message of peace, dialogue, and tolerance. That is Cuba. It rejects the barbarism, hatred, and violence that the imperialist monopolistic interests of the US and some of its allies are trying to impose on Cuba. Comrades, again we are going to Sudan. Last week also we saw the developments in Sudan. Now we will see current developments in Sudan. Sudan, African country, in country Sudan, Sudan military forces and the paramilitary rapid support forces are in internal war from 15th April onwards. Through the mediating efforts of United States and Saudi Arabia, a ceasefire agreement was signed on 22nd May, which paved the way for 7-day ceasefire. To monitor the ceasefire and humanitarian assistance, a 12-member monitoring committee of 3 representatives, each from United States, Saudi Arabia, the military and the paramilitary. Sudan Communist Party has said that there is none from the affected civilian side in the monitoring committee. Monopoly position in peace talks of US and Saudi Arabia is not good for Sudan. That is what the Sudan Communist Party has said. Though military and the paramilitary want to extend the ceasefire agreement by some more days, both the parties have violated the agreement. So far, from April 15th onwards, 865 civilians were killed. More than 3,600 got injured as per the statement of Sudan Doctors Association. On 25th May, Rapid Support Forces have occupied the office of the Sudan Communist Party. 14 lakh Sudanese people have fled away from their homes. 3,45,000 Sudanese have migrated to neighboring countries. Comrades, now we are going to see a new country, Moldova. We have not heard about that, but it's a country. Moldova is a very small country near Ukraine in Europe. Moldova is not a member of NATO, but friendly to NATO. 47 heads of European states met in Moldova. NATO planes were on the skyline of Moldova to give protection to the meeting. In 1991, after the fall of USSR, Soviet Union, the former Soviet republics formed a Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS. Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan are members of Commonwealth of Independent States. Turkmenistan is an associate member. CIS extends cooperation in economic, political and military matters. After Russian forces invaded Ukraine on 24th February 2022, Moldova decided to gradually withdraw its membership of Commonwealth of Independent States. In May 2023, Moldova Parliament announced its decision of withdrawing from CIS Parliament. Government of Moldova is actively campaigning to join the European Union. This will not help in defending unity, sovereignty and prosperity of Moldova, say the Communist and Socialist parties of Moldova. Comrades, lastly we are going to see the horrific rail accident in India. At least 275 people have died following a horrific train accident in the Balasore district of Odisha on 2nd June. Over 1,000 people were also injured in what is being called the worst rail accident in 20 years. The accident involves 3 trains. On the evening of 2nd June, the Coromandel Express rammed a stationary goods train that had been packed in the loop line of the Bahanaha Bazar railway station. 21 coaches of the Coromandel Express derailed and some overturned, including onto the adjoining track. Just minutes later, another train, Yeshwantpur Howrah Express, hit the derailed compartments and itself derailed. On 4th June, Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav stated the root cause of the collision is a change in electronic interlockings, a signalling system to ensure route safety for trains. He added that Railway Board had recommended an investigation by the Central Bureau of Investigations, CBI. Balasore and neighboring areas were the site of a massive rescue effort as local residents joined National Disaster Response Force and Fire Department personnel. The Indian Railways is employing over 11 lakh people. It is the 4th biggest railway network in the world. The principal chief operating manager of the South Western Railway had warned of serious flaws, serious mistakes in the signalling system just a few months before. This is the case everywhere, not only for Western Railway, for every railway there is serious mistakes in the signalling system. Comptroller and Auditor General report, CAG report in 2022 reveals that the Indian Railways neglected workforce vacancies and managed them through nominal outsourcing. This lack of proper staffing in the safety category compromised the railway's vision of achieving accident-free, collision-free and fire-free train operations. CAG said that 50% of mandatory track safety inspections were neglected. For the year 2023, over 3,12,000 posts in the railways remained vacant. 3,12,000 posts remaining vacant in Indian Railways. The failure to fill these positions has resulted in employees working overtime, local drivers even working more than 12 hours. Most of the political parties have demanded the resignation of the railway minister. Thank you, comrades. See you next week. Lal Salam.